Hey fam, it's CJ and we are here today to talk about love and marriage Huntsville. But before we get started, y'all know to always thumbs up this video right quick and go ahead and make sure that you subscribe if you're new and you are just now finding out about my channel. That way you can come and hang out with me every time we talk about my favorite show, which is Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, today's episode served us some camping, some crashes, and some confessions. Yes, we got some confessions this episode. Now, this episode was season 2, episode 15, and they called this episode To Martell the Truth. Now, we pick up where we left off last week at Destiny's event. We see a brief back and forth between Martell and his brother-in-law, or soon-to-be ex-brother-in-law, Marcus. And Martell walks off after he said what he said. And so the group is gathered together, minus Martell. And they're talking, and Letitia just wants them to know that she and Kimmy are good, because we know last week they got together during the Mommy Boss podcast, and it went left because we remember Tisha bringing up the whole Wanda being sanctioned conversation, which wasn't the time for that, but it was on her heart to do at the time, so she brought it up. But anyway, she just wanted them to know that they were good, and they start back up talking about Miss Wanda and why she wasn't invited. And anybody could understand why Miss Wanda wasn't invited to this event, because she doesn't get along with two of the people that Kimmy invited, which was Melody and Martell. We know that Miss Wanda is on this anti-Holt movement, and she wants nothing to do with them. So it only made sense not to invite her. And then we don't even know, because we did hear Kimmy say that they had another celebration for Jalen with family, and this one was more for business friends. So Miss Wanda probably came to that one too. And I honestly believe that Tisha brought Miss Wanda because she knows that it's hard for her to go up against Melody if they have words. So she does need somebody there that she is 100% sure has her back, because we know that Letitia does not do well when she feels like she's not being supported. So I understand why she invited her mom, but I understand why her mom wasn't invited also. It's kind of easy to see both sides of the coin in this situation, but she just does not understand that. So she kind of goes back and forth with Kimmy, and then surprisingly, Marceau starts to say, well, it feels like you were disrespectful to Miss Wanda because of the way that you greeted her. But last week, he was on the whole train of not inviting her to events. Now this week, it's, oh, you did my mother-in-law kind of wrong, and I don't like it. So I don't know where the flip-flop came from in that. And I understand that is his mother-in-law, but he hasn't rode for her like that ever from any of the episodes that I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am wrong, y'all let me know in the comments. But I have never seen that before. Anywho, they get the fussing and arguing, and Letitia is done. She wants to go away, and she walks away. She tells them bye. So I'm guessing that she left. But anyway, we then see Melody. She's in the studio singing this song, and it's a decent enough song. Her voice is nice. And so she's singing the song that is obviously made for Martell. I don't know any of the words, and I wouldn't dare attempt to sing it, because y'all would not roast me on these social media streets. But anyway, she invites Marcus to the session, and I'm glad she did, because you got some explaining to do, Miss Lady. How you gonna have that man come to this party to be your support or muscle or whatever he was supposed to be. And you didn't even show up. You left him there to basically get into it with your soon-to-be ex-husband on your behalf, and you not even there. But I thought that was wild. Anyway, he comes, and, he wants to know, like, why you flake on me? Why did you have me come and you didn't show up? She was inconsiderate to me, because it wouldn't have been nothing to text that man and say, hey, I thought about it and I'm not coming. I'm just not in the right headspace. She says that it was, she didn't come because she probably would have been on one and would have whooped somebody's ass or something to that nature. But common courtesy would have been to let your brother know that you weren't coming, especially if he came all the way from Atlanta to be a part of this event, to support you, and you didn't come. But anyway, and so he does bring her up to speed about his run-in with Martell, and she's not surprised. And she says that, she's glad that she didn't come, because if he would have met her with that kind of energy, blase. But anyway, we go to Miss Wanda. Miss Wanda, she's at the house cooking for the kids because Letitia is away on a school function. She's at like a school function or something. And so Miss Wanda is babysitting the kids. We see Marceau. He comes home and he thinks this is a good time for him to sit down and talk to Miss Wanda about what's been going on. And so Marceau, he tells her that, she shouldn't disrupt people's events, in the way that she does. And she feels like there is absolutely nothing wrong with what she does, because if it's something on her mind, she doesn't care where she is, whose event it is, what's going on. If it's something on her mind, she's going to say it to whoever, whenever. And I think that that's extremely disrespectful, especially at something that you were not even invited to, and you weren't invited to. But then the thing about that is, I don't even think that Miss Wanda felt slighted or disrespected by Kimmy's response when she came in. Kimmy said what anybody probably would have said. Kimmy is not fake, so I couldn't see her saying, oh, hey, Miss Wanda, how you doing? What's up? Kimmy was, put off by her being there, especially when she didn't tell Letitia, hey, bring your mom. And so Letitia was trying to get into semantics. So she's like, okay, well, what if I had to bring my kids? Don't bring them either because they weren't invited. That's not what she's saying. Your kids aren't going to start mess with other guests at the function or at the event. So that's not what she was saying. But anyway, getting back to what we were talking about. Now, she was like bound and determined. She didn't feel like disrespected by Kimmy at all. So I don't know why Letitia, from the outside looking in, we saw it was shade, but Miss Wanda didn't take it as shade. And we know she would have said something had she did. And I think that they were kind of putting too much into that situation. But anyway, Marceau tells her, that the group kind of wants to sanction her from certain events. And Ms. Wanda had no idea what the term sanction meant. So he had to break it down to her. And basically he told her they want to ban her from certain events. And she just basically let him know, I don't care what y'all do. I'm not even here for y'all in the first place. I'm only here because my grandchildren are here, which wasn't really a good rebuttal to what he said. I think that Miss Wanda knows that she'll still be around. It doesn't matter what he says because she's going to do what she wants to do. And she knows that she's got that kind of control over her daughter where if she going to show her face in the place, she going to be there. So he just kind of talking at this point because Miss Wanda is not hearing anything Marceau is saying. And, she, after talking to him, she feels like he's trying to control her the way that he controls Letitia. And Miss Wanda just seems like she's not used to being told what to do. She is a woman that, she goes by her own rules, and to hell with what anybody else has to say. And they ought to know that. And needless to say, this conversation, there was no resolve in this conversation. Miss Wanda's still gonna do Miss Wanda. So later on, we see Maurice, Kimmy, and Martell. They meet at some camping supply store. They're there to pick up items for the camping trip. And Marceau shows up, and he was glad to show up. He was glad to get out of the house with Miss Wanda. So any opportunity that he could have got, he took it. So they all get together, and Martell apologizes to Kimmy for showing his ass at Jalen's event. And she told him, I did not want that to happen, which was why I tried to, have the guest list a certain way. It was bound to go down with the mix of people that were there. And so she tells him something else. She tells him that she feels like he should keep his venting, this trip, because he mentioned, I'll use this trip to vent, to the boys about, my problems and the divorce and what's going on. And so she told him, well, that's probably what you should have done in the first place, and kept it off of social media. And here Martell goes again. Martell feels like Kimmy should be on his side. He feels like she's not on his side just because she is only telling him what's right. And I don't know why he believes that the whole world should be on his side and ostracize Mel when they were all friends. This was a group of friends. And just because you might have known them longer, that doesn't mean that they owe you loyalty. Maybe she's been a better friend to them. I mean, you just don't know the situation. But I don't think it's right that he's trying to snatch up everybody that they were once, this village with, and he just wants to snatch them all up and wants everybody to be against Mel, which I think is just absurd. But he keeps saying, and it's so childish to me. Every time I hear him say, well, there you go taking her side, or there you go you supposed to be on my side. That's childish. And you got grown man problems right now, and worrying about who is or who isn't on your side or who isn't your friend at this point, that's irrelevant. I mean, it's not important, but that's his business and not mine. And then we go on to Marceau and Maurice. They're kind of having a sidebar conversation on the side. And, Maurice he's like, wow, well, you and Martell seem to be getting along really good. What's up with that? And Marceau lets him know that he was invited into the 47 Acres project, and their conversation kind of got broke up because, Kimmy and Martell came. There's a lot of M's, Lord, in this group. Kimmy and Martell came up, so they cut the conversation short. They were talking so much, they couldn't even figure out what to buy for the camping trip. So she automatically knows that they did not get everything they need to take on this trip. So it's the day of the camping trip, and Cedric and Maurice, they show up first. And Martell shows up with his air mattress. This man brought a whole air mattress, and I can't say that I'm mad at him because I have never camped outside. I've never slept outside a day in my life. And I think that if I ever had to, I would probably pull the same move because I don't want to sleep on the ground. Even though I know the bugs and everything else can crawl up on me on my air mattress or whatever, I want to make it a little harder for them to do so. I don't want to be down on their level. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I feel the fact that he brought the air mattress and the pump to make sure that it got the adequate amount of air. But that was funny. Now, Cedric encourages Martell to talk to the kids, about the stages of this process, because he knows that this is going to be difficult for them because he has gone through the same thing. He just really encourages, Martell, you want to, talk to them, communicate with them, let them know what's going on, because they're going to be confused as it is. Life is going to be completely different for them. And the more they know, the more you talk to them, it helps. So he did give him a little bit of advice there. And we see Melody, and she takes the kids to the pumpkin patch. And she said it's a little weird because they would do that as a family every year, but this year it's just, her and the kids, which she's fine with. And she's inviting Ima. And we remember Ima. Ima was the woman who had the play, she was the writer of that play that Mel was supposed to be in, but COVID just, killed production on that. So they never got a chance to actually, take the play on the road or whatever. But she said her and Ima, they remain really good friends. They've become good friends. And Ima kind of serves as a bit of a counselor for her. So I guess we could add counseling into what tonight's episode was serving, because she did talk to the kids a little bit. She talked to them about how they're feeling, with mom and dad being separated. And you could tell the boy and the oldest girl, they're the two that really understand what's going on. And they understand, they said they would prefer to live with their mom, if given a choice. And little baby girl, I don't know if that's the one they call Boss Baby. I'm not sure, but she was like, I want to go with the ice cream man. She was like, the ice cream man? She was like, yeah, the one who gives us the Rocky Road with the cookies. Sis wants to go where the ice cream resides. So she wants to go with dad. And they were like, oh, okay. But the little boy, Martell, I think that's his name, Martell, he says that sometimes his mom cries and he doesn't like to see her sad. He wants her to be happy. And it's rough on those babies. But anyway, he says that he hugs her and consoles her and makes her feel better, which was really, really sweet. And Mel, she just wants the kids to know that they're still going to be a family no matter what. It's just going to look a little different, but they will still be a family, no matter what. So now, at this point, the guys are all set up and ready. And they're like looking for Marceau because Marceau still hasn't shown up. They call Marceau. He done got into a wreck somewhere. He FaceTimed them. He says his neck's a little stiff, but he's all good. Somebody's about to come pick him up, give him a ride home. So the camping trip, which was supposed to be 4, is now 3. And so they're eating and kind of chilling, and they are talking. And Maurice says that he realizes that he was dead wrong for trying to get Kimmy to quit her job, because we remember when he was just on her about quitting this job. He wanted her to get into real estate full time, but she's been a nurse for ample amount of years, for a long time, and this was her passion. And he said that seeing her in her element during these hard times, during COVID and everything, made him realize that, this was where she was called to be, and that he was out of line for even asking her to step away from that. So I like that he realized that it's her life, and if she wants to be a nurse, then you need to let her be a nurse. But that was cute. And Martell, he opens up about the infidelity. He gives us the same song and dance, initially about not being satisfied. And so he went elsewhere. And they kind of empathize with him about that. They feel like if your husband has told you what he needs from you sexually and you are not giving it to him, they're not saying that it's right, but they understand why he went where he went. And I I don't know, but they know it's wrong. So I will give them that. They do say that it's wrong. And Martell wishes that he had made different decisions, but as we know, you can't change the past, you can't change what happened. So it is what it is. Now, Sadaric, asked him, so what's this about these baby rumors? I've been hearing it all over social media and they haven't, confirmed anything. So he goes straight to the source. He goes straight to the dad in question. And Martell says that, he blamed Melody for the news getting out because he said she only told because she got caught cheating or she was cheating, which didn't make sense. Why was she? Anyway, but he said that was why the news got out. And then he did confirm that, yes, there is a baby on the way. The girl is pregnant. And really the only one that had anything to say was Sadaric. Maurice was just kind of like, wow. All he could say was wow. And that's pretty much where this episode left off. Next week does look like it's going to be another good one. If I forgot anything, I did do this episode a little differently. This episode, I shared a few of my thoughts. Someone suggested to me in the last video that I should, share a little bit more of my thoughts. And I have done so respectively. And if you feel differently, we can definitely talk about it respectfully as always. But my time is up here. If there was anything I forgot, like I said, drop down in the comments below and let me know. And I will see you lovely people in the next video. Have a great Sunday and I will see y'all later. Peace.